Buenas gente, buenas. Hoy venimos a reaccionar a este videito de un Range Rover, un SVR. Eh, es un chuzo. Les adelanto un poquito porque me parece que hay un video antes de este, pero el playlist que estoy viendo de Matt Armstrong eh, empieza aquí. Entonces el otro lo vamos a dejar por ahí por el momento. Este SVR, como van a ver ahorita en el preview, lo estuvieron arreglando y se jodió el motor. Mientras lo estuvieron arreglando. Entonces, vamos a echarle un ojillo a ver cómo nos va.
We're about to drive this Range Rover SVR to the Sahara Desert, the most isolated place on Earth.
Y la idea es que lo van a
And also,
meter ahí. Chiva.
the most dangerous.
Chiva.
Like it says, you cannot film anything without permission here.
You're speeding.
And it's over
Exceso de
2,000
velocidad.
miles away from home.
Todo por ganarse algo de
The car
harina.
we're attempting it in,
A ver.
this crash damaged Range Rover SVR. I bought this
Chuzo.
SVR from Copart crash damage, and we attempted to rebuild the full car in 7 days, but it all went
7
wrong.
días.
Just as we thought we was
Bueno,
about to
ahí
finish
como
the
que se
build,
jodió el
the
motor.
viscous fan blew off the front of the car,
Por ese
ripping
fan.
a hole out of
Por
the
ese
cylinder
ventilador.
block,
¿Ves? Se
destroying
quedó
the
ahí.
engine. So that has toasted the engine. We still have no idea how this happened, but we know if we want to get to the Sahara Desert, I'm gonna have to fix it. And to
Venga.
fix it, I'm gonna have to start by taking out the engine.
Vamos a quitar el motor. Vamos a adelantar un poco.
Now, the whole spot is from the back of the gearbox to the rear differential. After
Quitan el
that, it's
diferencial.
just a case of the fuel lines, which go from the fuel tank at the back of the car to the engine at the front, and then the engine ECU. After that, I can lower the car back down, and I've got the axle stands ready, so when I take out these
Manguerillas.
subframe bolts, the
Julan
subframe
y
should
demás.
just rest on the axle stands. And once I'm 100%
Pues es un
confident I've
pretesote.
disconnected everything, we can lift the car up, and the engine and gearbox should stay where it is.
Un bretezote.
Then I've just got to remove the radiator from the front of the engine.
Ven, voy a adelantar. Para que hagan el desmadre.
And there it is.
Ven, ahí es donde se quebró. Justo ahí.
The hole that has caused all of this.
The cylinder block, it's not a timing cover.
Qué mal.
This is the timing cover that can be removed. That's the cylinder block. We have two options. One option was to re-weld the bracket back onto the cylinder block. Would you trust it? I don't know. It's always going to be in my mind, and especially when we're about to attempt a crazy journey into the Sahara Desert, I don't want that on my mind. And our other option was to just send it and buy a second-hand engine. And that's what we're doing.
We got the engine!
Comprar otro motor. Adelantar.
Seeing these clips here, you can see that clip is supposed to clip into there, but there's already a clip here, and this clip here is supposed to go into there, but there's already a clip in there. So this is not the original box. All of these bell housing bolts are in the wrong place, and then there was a coil pack missing off it,
No
plugs
es
missing off it, and then we
la
took
transmisión.
spark plugs out, spark plugs had
Vamos a adelantar.
clips in. And hopefully that one looks a complete disaster. But whilst we wait for my dad to take that engine back and go and collect another engine off eBay, I'm working away at getting the gearbox off my engine. That
Otro
way, when the
motor.
new engine hold the engine to the gearbox, like this drive shaft here. Along with that, I'm also going to be taking the downpipes off the engine as well, because they're not included with the new engine that we're buying. Once we've got all the bell housing bolts loose, we should be able to slide the
Voy a adelantar.
gearbox. I'm now going one big chunky subframe, steering rack, front differential, that goes all the way back into the gearbox. Oh my days.
Desmadre.
All of this we're keeping. We've now just got to attach our new engine to it.
Va, tercer
Here
motor.
it is. Woo! £6,000, which I actually think was a pretty good deal.
Poco más de 3 millones de
Providing
colones.
This engine's all good, but it does look a lot better than the last one. This thing is going to go through a lot of stress
Casi 4.
driving in the heat of the Sahara Desert.
Adelantar.
So again, good, I'm sure. Usually, you replace your spark plugs around 60,000 miles, and the ones in our engine have
Me
only done
gustaban esas.
27,000 miles.
Negrísimas.
So I can't see any.
Like new.
I've never bought a second-hand engine off eBay, and I can understand it's quite a risk, because really you're just trusting the seller. But as this one's come from a genuine breaker's yard, and he gave us the VIN number of the car that it's come off, everything seems all legit. He also mentioned to us that it did come with 30-day warranty as well, just for
No,
that
eso es
extra
bueno.
peace of mind. And with those spark plugs in, we've lowered the new engine, onto our old subframe, and now it's time for the gearbox. Next up, this gigantic gearbox.
Vamos a adelantar.
In our gearbox up to our brand new second-hand engine, and the drivetrain is now on. This thing is pulling us to the Sahara Desert. We hope. We're going to lower the Range Rover down over the top of the engine, gearbox and subframe, and then slide in these bolts which hold the subframe to the car. And once a few bolts are in, we should be able to lift the car up with the engine attached to it and start refitting everything else. Another thing to bear in mind, we've still never actually driven this car. Even with the brake calipers and everything else that we detached just to get the engine out. With all of it done underneath, the car can come back down and me and Liam can attach everything in the engine bay. The fuel lines, the air filters, the expansion tank for the coolant, and it even has fluid for the anti-roll bar. And last but not least, some engine oil. And we think that's just about enough to get this thing started.
What's it time for?
It's time to start it.
Do you think excited?
Do you think it's gonna go? Oh, do you think it's not gonna go?
I hope it goes, but I can't.
No me acuerdo si prendía, yo creo que no.
I don't know with this car. What, like, I think we've done everything. We've done everything we could have done.
When it gets to this time of night, things get missed.
Fuel lines connected. 1, 2. Starter motor line.
Yep, that's you do
I
that.
did that, and the ground cable. Did
Well,
that. Dad did ground cable for the. Yeah, I think when we're happy. Next is the battery, and then we're all ready to go. Anything could happen now. Absolutely anything. Range Rover SVR, please start. Ignition on. Coolant level low. We've just spent all day putting this engine in. Are we gonna do it? And the whole other day of taking the old one out.
Are you ready?
This has got to work. I really, really hope this starts.
A ver. Sí, sí prendía, pero sí suena feo, sí. No me acordaba, sí cierto, sonaba feo.
That does not sound healthy.
What was that?
That sounded like a bottom end, didn't it?
Yeah. One more time.
Unless it just didn't have oil pressure. That sounded like a bottom end.
That we did have that problem with the other one though, when it didn't have enough power. It was running horrible.
No, but that was really bad.
Let's hear it again so we know what it is.
That was really bad.
Okay, one more time.
No, suena como si estuviera pegando. Como si estuviera pegando algo.
That engine should definitely not sound like that.
Malísimo, está malísimo. Algo tiene malo ese. No sé.
Oh my god.
Adelantemos.
Morning, we started the car.
La 1 de la mañana.
Sit on the bottom of the conrod and go around the crankshaft.
Ahí van a
allow the
explicar.
piston to go up and down smoothly, and an oil gallery in the crankshaft keeps it all lubricated. But these bearings run such tight tolerances, and if any of them become worn, you'll get a knocking sound like this.
Es eso,
The
es
conrod
eso.
having play on the crankshaft, which basically causes engine failure. And one this noisy definitely requires a full engine rebuild. I can't believe it! I can't believe that!
Ish, imagínense. Adelantemos.
The next morning, we had to break the news to my dad. But we didn't tell him what had happened. We just let him start the car up and let
Esa es
him
la
figure it
mente.
out himself.
Ese señor es un bicho. Se caga de risa.
What do you think?
¿Qué piensas?
Does that mean we're taking all the bits out of this one and putting them in that one?
El chat.
The car might have been running before, but he didn't mention that there was a tap dancer inside the engine. And with this engine being no good, we had
Sí,
to
corría,
resort
claro,
to our
pero
plan A,
así no,
fixing
jamás.
the original engine. But there's only one guy we knew that was capable of doing this.
Ah, sí, este
Bob
mal lo
at the
arreglaba.
machine shop. To fix the hole in
Mal
that
muy
engine
bicho.
block, it's going to need some
Es como un
specialist
soldador
welding,
bien
and that's
bicho.
exactly what Bob's known for.
Voy a
This part
calentar.
that snapped off the end. A millimeter or two at a time. We take one of the rods, we melt the surface with the TIG torch, and then we dip the rod into the surface.
Pero muy
And back at
chuzo.
the unit, my dad's detaching the gearbox from the broken engine, in hopes
Y
that when Bob's
pereza,
finished
sacaron
fixing our
la
engine,
transmisión que
we
le
can
habían puesto a
connect
ese
it back to
motor.
that one. Now, because Bob's welding cast aluminium, it requires some TIG welding. It's at the machine shop
Intentemos.
to learn onto.
Ven, y aquí ya ponen la pieza que se había quebrado.
Hole here to pick up where we should be on this pad.
Oh.
I love that. That's very good. Next thing we do, get a drill bit that fits perfectly in that hole.
And he's got to drill out a hole in his weld. Not only
Buen
has he got
bicho
to
ese man.
Placement thread. So instead of bolting into the aluminium, you bolt into the steel piece.
He does this because the steel is much stronger than the aluminium. And then there's way less risk of the thread stripping out of the engine again. Clever move by Bob, but I never doubted him.
It's nice and snug now.
And look at that.
Reach.
We're hoping that this is stronger and better than OEM. But there's only one way to find out whether this has worked. So here it is, our original engine, which exploded itself. But hopefully, Bob
Ahí está el arreglo.
has solved it.
Vamos a adelantar.
Hopefully,
Aquí voy a intentar poner este. Vamos a ver.
takes round with the engine to keep it cool.
Ven, y fue
This
por
time,
ese-
we're making sure it's not
por ese fan.
secured. Now let's get this thing
Ventilador.
back in. Now, time for the old engine to get back in the car. Let's hope this works. We're using the exact same technique as last time, lowering the car down onto the engine and
Una pequeña explicación es de que ese ventilador que vieron ahí fue que se estaba quedando pegado, entonces ellos trataban de zafarlo y no lo podían zafar y no lo podían zafar porque necesitaban cambiarlo, se había quebrado. Y le metieron una vara esta vara que es como para picar, ¿cómo se llama? El cemento en el suelo, como para picar suelo. Ajá. Y se echaron el motor. Eso fue lo que hicieron. Entonces cambiaron la pieza, sí, pero se echaron el motor porque donde prendió, ¡pum! Se quebró esa parte. Así, rajadísimo. Ahí les voy a dejar el link del video anterior para que lo vean. Yo lo voy a buscar, pero empecé desde aquí, pero porque aquí venía el playlist, como les dije. Vamos a seguir viendo un poco.
subframe and putting in the bolts which hold it to the car. Lift the car back up again and connect everything up from the bottom and everything from the top as well. Now we have left the exhaust
Saltar.
off just... Come on then,
Voy a intentar.
do it. Yeah.
La novia. Lo voy a aprender. Y suena súper bien.
That sounds well smooth.
Claro. Súper bien.
The fan's on. I think it's working.
Le da miedo que le explote.
I think it's working. It sounds well smooth. Yes! It works. How long for? We don't know. We're about to find out.
Sounds alright.
Yeah.
Why did you stand back?
Pero entonces, me parece que
We
suena
haven't even
bien.
drove this car yet. We've got to drive it across the desert. It's to go in cool. Fixed. Now let's finish off
Ya, hasta terminarlo.
everything that we couldn't finish off when we originally bought the car. The coolant's in. The exhaust is going on. The carbon mirror cap was missing from the accident, so I managed to find one on
Un poquillo tarde
eBay,
aquí.
and we can refit that.
Ando cansadillo.
It's coming together now. We're going to change the sunroof whilst there's aircon being put in it, because we're going to need the aircon for the desert, for sure. When we picked up the car, there was damage to the roof.
Ah, sí,
And
cierto.
the pan roof was
Ish.
smashed at the back.
Está hecho en
Screensaver
desmadre.
already come and
Lástima.
removed that part of the roof. We had to clean it up, and then they could apply the adhesive to fit a new one. I managed to find a new one off eBay for around £200, but after refitting the rear glass, we noticed that the actual sunroof
Oh.
was bent from whatever hit into it in the accident.
Ah, sí.
You can see the slight bend in it here. Luckily for us, the sunroof just unbolts. Once you lift it up into this position, you can access all 4 bolts to lift the roof out of the
Súper fácil.
And
Lo
once
malo
we've
es
got that
comprar
out,
200
we should be able to
libras
just refit in a second-hand one.
y estamos hablando que son como
sunroof, so nobody can see
120.000, 130.000 colones.
My dad's lifted me the second-hand sunroof that we bought. We slide that into place, but it's not just a case of bolting it straight in. It took a lot of alignment.
Que si nos ponemos a
to make
pensar,
sure it sit
no
nice
está
and
tan caro.
flush.
Por aquí en
New
Costa Rica debe salir
sunroof
como
is
en
in. Check this out.
5 tejas, una cosa así.
Done! Onto the front bumper. This is really going to make the car look complete. The body shop have painted it. We've just got to connect it up. Plugging in the electrical connectors for the parking sensors and the camera on the front. Then
Oye,
bolting
ese
it
carro.
down. And finally, the front grille, which has carbon in it. There's a few final bits to put on the bumper, like these arch extensions, which are only on the SVR, and then the carbon fibre engine cover can clip in. And would you look at that?
Carbón.
Within a
Lindo.
matter of minutes, the SVR is looking brand new.
Claro, no ven. SVR. Ahí lindo.
Look at it! It
Llantas
actually
Continentals.
looks really, really good. Better than I expected. The blue is next level. The carbon is next level. This is the spec SVR. If you ever wanted one, this is the spec that you wanted. It's been a journey to get to this point right now, and it's got its own personality already, but I feel like the journey's only just began because it's about to, we ain't even started the journey really, and we've got one more place we need to visit before we get on the road to the Sahara Desert. Oh my God.
Vamos a adelantar un poco.
Once we start, this car's already been on a journey itself. From the moment we picked it up, it was battered on the front end.
¿Ves que
And
vean cómo
all the
está?
airbags were deployed inside the car. It's driving!
Sí, sí, me cuadraría un montón
And now it's actually driving out the
hacer un
unit.
reveal
Unit.
de un carro así como estaba así.
This is where the journey starts.
Yeah, I think I don't know what, I've never drove this yet, so we don't know what, we've literally just committed to going straight to the Sahara Desert. We haven't even tested this out.
Desierto de Sahara.
Done no miles. One more place to go. I've got a feeling I'm really gonna like this car.
Real Mania. A ver qué ahora le van a poner. No me acuerdo.
We need good tyres for the desert, so this should transform the SVR. Come on, Wheelmania. Here we go. Well, I can't remember going this big, but we've gone huge with these wheels. These are massive.
Ah, sí, 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 estaban preciosas, sí.
We're just thinking, okay,
Carotes.
we're going
Negros están
off-road.
hermosos.
We're going in the sand, but we're also going to be on the motorway as well. So we still should have nice comfort ride.
Yes.
Adelantar un poco, para que vean cómo se ve.
Our lesson
Llantas Michelin.
got absolutely wicked, so we've got to go. I'm scared to see what these. Let's put
Cada
these on.
llanta va a salir
We're
medio
now
millón
saying
aquí.
goodbye to the standard 22-inch alloys that you get with the Range Rover SVR, and it looks like somebody's already fitted wheel spacers to this one to just add a little bit more
Hasta
aggression to the
spacers
stock
tenía.
wheels. But with the Wheelmania alloys, we're not going to need those spacers. We've gone up a size
Uf,
in wheel,
anchísimos esos
23-inch with a way more aggressive fitment. Oh, it looks how it should have looked from factory, doesn't it? The fitment's solid, isn't it? No spacers.
Bang
so
on.
at least we've got peace of mind that we've got no wheel spacers on when we're sending it in the desert. That looks proper. The car does need a clean now, but Wheelmania have smashed it again.
Precioso.
And it's
Vamos a adelantar.
ready. Let's say it over. To the sun. We hope it's going to be sun, eh?
I hope it is.
To the sun.
Adelantamos.
Wouldn't take the car directly to Morocco due to loads of complications at the borders.
Guys,
para
the
Marruecos.
car's made it.
Has it made it?
The car's made it.
Is it getting it off still?
We hope so.
Yeah. On the trip, it'll be me, Matt the cameraman, my dad, and Toby, the second cameraman. But what they didn't realise is that I had a little surprise for them. So here we are, the SVR has arrived in the south of Spain, Almeria. We've just got to get it off the trailer now, and hopefully
Adelanta un
we'll
poco.
make it to this. Is
Have you ever done a road trip in an SVR before?
No,
No.
especially one with a welded engine.
big moment. It started. This is it then. The Range Rover SVR being unloaded and touched down in Spain.
La vara, la vara. Ojo, ojo.
Yeah, let me just get my bag.
You're in that. In there is Lee the Land Rover.
Venga, ese Land Rover.
You're in Lee.
No, we're in that.
You're in Lee.
That's Lee's the Land Rover. I bought him just before this trip.
Lo compró.
You guys are in that. It's a 2000 Land Rover Defender 90, 150 horsepower. It's straight parked. It's got a remat, and you two are gonna get on.
Pero es una
like a house
belleza.
on fire in there. It's amazing. Land
Creo que
Rover.
son
My
900.
dad and Toby's choice of transport. Well, it was more my choice, and they have to deal with it.
900. 90.
Oh, let's hope it's been maintained well.
It's
Do insurance and the trade sale just in case you get pulled over. We had to buy
Deme un toque porque creo que me va a cagar sin micrófono.
it trade, so we've got no warranty.
Listo, ya cambié.
unfortunately.
160, 86,000 miles.
O sea,
Let me tell you this. That car there has done 27,000 miles and it's broke down about 4 times and been in an accident. That car there is 26 years old and it's done 186,000 miles and it's still running.
186,000 millas.
Now,
Pero son
ever since
carras.
from when I can remember,
Bello.
Land Rover have always advertised their cars on being able to do pretty much anything. And one of those things is driving on sand. Now, the place we're heading to in the Sahara Desert is only
Sí.
accessible via off-road car.
Pero es bien lindo.
But now we're about to put to the test and hopefully prove
Por algo
that
tengo un
Land
Range
Rover does
nuevo,
exactly
pero un Range,
what it's
y es una
advertised
belleza, la
to do,
verdad.
regardless of the age.
Time to set off to the Sahara
Solentar.
Desert. And that's the only service.
Que los vean ahí. Básicamente que van a ir al desierto.
Say why. Let's go. To Morocco.
Matt's been given the all clear. He's coming on the ferry. That's a bit of a shame.
All aboard the boat to Morocco.
Ya entraron.
Leaving the coast of Almeria, the next morning when we woke up, we could see the shore of Morocco.
Qué belleza.
It's actually quite warm.
The sunrise and the country looked amazing, and our road trip started here, but not without another incident.
Well, we're here. When you come out of the port, not really a pleasant experience, but there you go. Everyone's trying to sell you SIM cards.
Tony, what the hell has just happened?
Vamos a adelantar un poco.
Matt's just been taken into
Ven.
an office for having a drone, and now I'm just sat here
Nos pararon por el dron.
surrounded by police.
One thing we didn't realise when coming to Morocco, that there's a law against having a drone. Once again, my car was randomly spot checked and they found the drone.
So it's been about half an hour, and we're still waiting to see what's happening with Matt.
We're waiting. Matt's been
Solentar.
taken.
That's it.
Solo trabas ahí. Ahí viene Matt.
That was just terrible.
Just had the latest.
Go on, give us the news.
We're free.
Oh, yes.
Lo dejaron, pero creo que sí se
I was
dejaron
let
el.
out after sitting with
el drum.
police for over half an hour. Now we just got to find the guys and meet back up. Oh my god. The SVR is in a country that we've never been to, and we've only driven this car to Wheelmania and back. It's literally, this is scary. Like if we break down, we've had it.
We've seen a speck of blue.
Están friqueados.
10-4, got an eyeball.
Adelantar.
Trip is just sketchy.
Yeah, I think let's get out of here and try and find somewhere that feels a little bit more safe. So not a great start, but regardless, we continued our journey, heading from Nador to a place called Ifrane, which is almost a halfway point. Now the
Adelantar.
country, as we was out the city now, we found a petrol station and we thought this was a good time just to
Echar
check
gasolina.
over the cars. Has that just come out of Lee?
Just come out of
That's actually not good at all.
Pero siempre tiene que fijarse a ver qué es.
Definitely.
Who else can it come out of?
Well, like I say, good news is at least it's got something in for it to come out.
How's she looking?
We're just checking the repair. Oh yeah, dry as anything down there. Dry as anything.
Buenísimo.
Yes. The belly to the beast.
¿Cómo suena ese bicho?
There's not really much difference between the two, is there really?
I don't see it. Hold on. Why is the bonnet coming off like
The
that?
bonnet's come off.
Why does the bonnet come off?
Se sale una
What's wrong
tapa.
with me then? That bonnet's come off.
Qué bueno.
The place we're heading to, in Ilfrane, is known as being a mini Switzerland in Morocco, and sometimes even gets snow. This place is at a much higher altitude than the rest of
Valentar.
Morocco.
Se quedan en ese chantezote, es una belleza.
We would go a desert. Going that way.
Do you think Lee's shock absorber's on its way out?
We continued to amaze.
Ahí los paran, sí, y se quedan rapidísimo.
Ask a few questions, and then let you go on.
Ah, no, esto lo dejaban ir.
These spot checks are supposed to be there to keep the locals safe, but as we was coming up to one spot check, both of us ran into a problem.
Estos yo creo que son. Se quedan rápido.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
How
How are you? Paper the car, please.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
Where are you from?
England.
England.
Yeah.
I'm Englishman, is there?
Yeah.
At first, we thought it was just a regular stop from a friendly police officer, but then it changed.
You speeding?
Speeding?
7 kilometers, yes. Thank you. Like 80, you 100.
He went on to say I was speeding, when I was actually being so careful to stay under the speed limit due to all of these police stops. I was beginning to think maybe I was, and I
Claro.
just slipped up a bit.
Sacar harina.
They're saying we were speeding, which.
And I literally said as well the speed limit, so I knew I was staying to it.
Yeah.
I said it was 60, but it was actually 80.
But then apparently now they're questioning these guys and saying that they were speeding.
Valentar,
So.
si les cobran.
100 dirhams, which is around £30.
15,
Cash only.
16
I had
rojos.
200 dirhams in my pocket, and he said, that's enough. Then we found out my dad was getting the same fine.
How much you wouldn't believe what I just told you.
We then were able to move on, leaving my dad and Toby paying their fine. Something wasn't right.
Pulled up at the petrol station.
Vamos a adelantar. Es entretenido más bien la parte donde ya ellos están
No,
corriendo con los carrillos en el desierto.
I got away with half
Voy a
the.
adelantar un poquillo. Anda un poquitillo lento
For
el
like 2
internet.
seconds, and he saw me in the corner of his eye, and I was like, saw him coming over, tried to delete it quick. I was like panicking, I couldn't do it. Saw me, and then literally we've ended up giving him
Is it
400 dirhams
put
gone.
400 on?
He took pictures of our passports. He's wrote
He
down,
took pictures of your passports.
Yeah.
What are you felons now? Are you
Fotos de los
felons?
pasaportes.
he's wrote down all his details.
But you were filming, so why is it
Yeah,
Tony?
because of the driving license. He just looked at the driving
right,
license,
okay.
drove it all down, wrote it all down,
So now it's your fault that Tony's going to prison.
basically. Yeah.
Free on Tony.
Tenemos.
That's right.
Il faut marcher doucement, Armstrong. La vitesse est limitée à
Otra
60
gente.
Armstrong. Vous avez le 71 Armstrong.
Okay.
71.
How many?
150 dirhams.
150.
So
150, oui. Driver license.
Driving license.
12.
Infraction de limit speed. Plaque 16 and 16.
Now, this officer was saying that we was doing 77 kilometers an hour in a 60 zone, but this time the fine was only 150 dirham, around 15
Más baratico. Les pasan cobrando. Vamos a adelantar un poco. Aquí. Aquí. Aquí llegan a probarlo.
Look
Ven,
at
qué bueno.
this. Literally got the whole of the Sahara Desert in front of us.
Oh my god. This is mad.
Qué bueno.
Leo, go over there.
Well, there you reckon. This is madness.
We were just at the edge of the Sahara Desert here, and it was the first time both cars have been on the sand, so we thought this was the perfect opportunity to see if they do what they're designed to. We
Porque se
have
queda pegado un
made
carro
it
ahí, es
just to
exagerado.
the edge of the Sahara Desert now. This is the start of the test of these two cars. We've set a course out around the sand dunes here, and it's timed, but there's a twist. Our passengers will be carrying 2 open
Una prueba.
bottles of water, and the passenger with the least water at the end has 2 seconds added to their time. You're in the back of Lee, and Matt is in the
Adelante.
back. Right, remember, this is 2 seconds.
Drive smoothly, you.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Le cuesta salir.
Yeah, good start, good start.
No salió. Qué bueno.
Take 2.
Come on, Lee.
Go on, Lee.
Go on, Lee.
Yes! Yes!
Go.
Come on, Tony.
Now, what I was going to tell you guys, whilst they're on the track, this is literally the first time we used Y-Food for this. The food has been so strange here in Morocco, and this was the best time for Y-Food, which is a meal replacement drink. And the best thing
Rico.
about it, it's full of vitamins, minerals, it's high in fibre, high in protein, lactose-free, gluten-free, and there's no added sugar. And it gives us literally everything we needed to keep going on this road trip without stopping off at some sketchy place we don't know for food.
Come on,
A mí me dan ganas de meter así el Evoque.
The good thing as well, because we've been drinking this literally every
Mañana hay-
single day since we've been here, there's loads of different flavours, so we haven't got bored.
Oh, the camera's all over the place. Yes, come on.
Terminaron ahora.
Across the line, should we see how much water Toby's got left?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No se lo regó nada.
Light work.
Now, time for
Ahora
the
toca
SVR.
el SVR. No sale, no sale, no sale.
Okay, I'm trying.
The water's good, the water's good.
It was doing amazing.
Ya se mojó todo. Parece que se orinó.
And it
Adelantar un
looked
poco.
good whilst doing it.
We definitely have less water.
Yeah, definitely 2 seconds on there.
I tell you what, it looked faster.
So our wet lap time was 49 seconds,
Is that including?
including the extra 2 seconds because you soaked me. Your time,
Go on then.
1 minute,
Yes!
13 seconds.
Oh my god, you're so slow!
Me ganaron.
I told you.
Now, if you want to grab a Y-Food, you can grab a taster pack with the link in the description box below to find your favourite flavour, whether it be happy banana, chocolate, coffee, whatever it may be. You can get that with the link in the description box below. And with the banner appearing underneath me right now, there'll be a discount code for the Y-Food as well. Let's
Demasiado bueno.
head on into the desert.
Y ahí se quedan pegados. Qué bueno.
Oh my god.
As it's always when you do it at the last part, innit?
Yeah,
You know, like we've done
literally.
everything and we're like, oh, let's go.
Finish
Got
filming.
my dad in the car, we just rolled down here and I accelerated and the back end just slid down here into the Never Never sand.
Basically, the situation is now we literally can't
Adelantar
get
un
the car
poco.
out, can we?
And it's gonna just dig. And we only had about 2 hours of daylight left. And we needed to get back on the road if we had any hope in making our destination.
This is not good.
In the end, some of the locals come out to try and help us get this SVR out. And thank God they did.
Ahí va, ahí va. Si no se hubieran quedado ahí.
Come on, go! Yeah! Keep going, go down there!
The
Loco.
SVR was out, But we still had a long journey ahead of us. And we were back on concrete. But not for long.
What are we doing there? Surely it's not down there.
Looks like it.
No way. Here we go. Our trip across the Sahara Desert starts now. We've had some practice, but this is when it gets serious.
This is it. This is it. The true test of the Range Rover. True test of our rebuild. We've made it all the way through Morocco.
No sé.
Got a little
2000 Land Rover from my day.
They advertise the Land Rovers and the Range Rovers to be able to do all of this, and do you know what, fair play to them, because it did do all of it, and the repair held out. We did good. We changed the engine multiple times, we did a lot of work, and we used nearly enough every single mode, and it was worth it for that view.
Se me cayó el micrófono. No, pero no hay que ver
Both
eso.
cars made it.
Chuzo. Demasiado bueno. Qué bueno. Adelantar un poco.
Into Morocco, staying tonight. Look at the camp.
This is definitely in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
Se quedan ahí. Es una belleza.
Yes, boys. Wow. Thank you.
and although Morocco has been stressful at times, what a beautiful country it turned out to be. And what an amazing journey both cars have been on. But one of them has to go.
Así. Pero es que después de esto rifan el SVR por cierto monto por internet, una paginilla.
Land Rover.
Ahora en algún momento
haven't been
podamos
lying
hacer lo mismo.
since
Rifar un carrillo
2000,
así.
at least. What an adventure for us and for the Range Rover, and the adventure can now continue with one of you guys, because you can take home the Range Rover for just £10, and on top of that we're also giving away £10,000 cash to the winner.
Excelente.
You can win the Range Rover SVR with high-speed competitions with the link in the description box below. The live draw is next week, and one of you are going to be taking the Range Rover
Claro, que lo hacen en
SVR
una semana.
home. Good luck to every
Es un
single
poco
one
más
that enters,
difícil.
and thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next
Pero
one.
bueno, ahí gente,
Peace out.
los dejo. Muchísimas gracias. Espero se suscriban también en el de Matt y en el mío. Un like, un comentario.
I
Gracias
just bought
gente.
a bargain
Éxitos.
Range Rover